What's up, y'all? Just wanted to talk a little bit real quick while I'm in the truck. Hey, something I saw this weekend at the wrestling tournament. So this little kid was wrestling my niece, and you know, it was a boy, and he lost. He got handled pretty good, and I guess not only did it hurt that he was losing, but it probably hurt his pride that he lost to a little girl, a pretty little girl that looked like she's more worried about Barbie dolls. But when she get on that mat, she'll kick your ass just as fast as anybody else. But my point to that is, he ran up in the stands, didn't shake hands. He ran up in the stands, hugged his mama, cried, and she hugged him, and she just let him stay there with her. Anybody that know wrestling is big on sportsmanship and things like that. The ref raised her hand, and she went on about her business. This kid was allowed to not wrestle anymore that day. They packed up their stuff and they went home. Now, of course, it could be a bunch of other issues going on. I could think of a million reasons, of legit reasons on why they had to pack up and leave so fast. I don't know. I didn't talk to the people. I'm on the outside looking in. But my point to that is, the reason why I put my son in wrestling is not about the wins and losses or anything like that. It's about those moments right there. Those moments that little boy was going through. A lot of times in life, your child is not going to be able to experience that type of adversity until they are, 19, 20. They're going to be, he's going to be well into his adulthood, probably, most likely, before he feels something that made him feel like that. And that is the reason why I chose to put my son in wrestling, is because I want him to be able to go through that stuff early, learn how to deal with it early in a safe and controlled environment. A lot of times as parents, we are our children's own worst enemies because we just want to protect our kids. See, the minute our kids feel like, hey, something's threatening them, or my kid is crying or they're upset, our natural instinct as a parent is to try to alleviate that or stop that fear, save my children. And what we're doing in the long run is we're hurting our children. Of course, you don't want your kids in a toxic environment and you're just telling them to suck it up and man up or whatever, kind of foolishness people, sayings that people have. But, that's manufactured stress. That's manufactured adversity. That is the perfect place for your child to go through it. And then you're able to go home, break it down, and have a teaching moment, and say, hey, listen, remember when you were crying, blah, 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 this and that. And then you can go over that. And that's going to allow that child to grow so much from that. I can't even describe it, Point in case, my son had the same exact scenario his first match. He's 6 years old. He's a little heavy kid, so he got to wrestle kids probably a year or two older than him, But I told him that ahead of time, hey, listen, we big people, you know what I'm saying? We're not big, we're heavy people. And so, you just gonna have to deal with that for the rest of your life. It's either if you want to wrestle, you got to deal with with what comes with it. He's okay with that, and he's a solid wrestler. His second year, 6 years old. But he got worked. He got worked pretty good. His normal stuff that he used, it didn't work. And then he got on his back, and I could see the moment, that moment that we're all looking for in our athlete, when they can either fight through it or they'll check out. And he checked out and he just stayed on his back. Then he got pinned and then he started crying and he laid on the mat for about 30 seconds. You know, everybody yelling, get up, get up. You know, the people are cheering for him, trying to cheer him on. And so he got up, he was crying, he shook the person's hand, he shook the other coach's hand. Before he got to me, there's a bunch of other people, you know, the teammates and whatnot, consoling him. And as soon as he get to me, you know, I just gave him a few words of encouragement, and then I sent him up, you know, in the bleachers to his mom. And of course I didn't want to, you know, jump on him or try to, you know, have my little teacher moment right then, because, you know, he's crying, his feelings are hurt, he's not going to retain anything. So of course, you know, I just told him, hey, get yourself together, and then we will talk later. So of course, you know, 15-20 minutes go by. He's up there playing on the phone, just like most kids. You know, as adults, we gonna hold on to it longer than they will. So he's already, you know, moving on. And so I went up to him and I talked to him, and I told him, you know, you don't never do that. You don't never lay down. You don't never give up. If somebody just beat you, they beat you. But you don't beat yourself. And then we don't lay on the mat. If I'm crying, oh well, cry. You know, but I'm going to cry in my position. I'm going to cry in my stance. I'm going to cry shaking my opponent's hand. I'm going to cry shaking the coach's hand. I'm going to stand up tall with my chest out with tears in my eyes. I'm going to still be a man or a young man about what I'm doing, you know. And so I was really appreciative to that, because, you know, he was doing pretty good in practices and whatnot. And I was really appreciative. I ain't gonna say happy, because I don't want him to lose, you know. But I was really appreciative that he had to go through that moment, you know. And last season, he had a few more moments. And I could see him growing as an athlete and also growing as a person, because he has to go through those moments. And a lot of times when he gets really high on his horse, you know, he start trying to act like he's all that, and then I could bring him back with those moments, you know. Hey, remember when you was on your back crying? So if you don't want that to happen to you again, you need to do this, you need to do that, you know, you need to do this, you know. And of course, he's still 6 years old. I'm not one of those parents that's you know, all crazy on him. But at the same time, I do understand that, hey, listen, these moments are something, you know. This isn't just, hey, he's just playing playing kickball at school. No, these moments are something, and they're gonna affect him. They're gonna be worth something later on in life. So I just wanted to share that. This video went along, so I'll probably make it 2 parts or 3 parts or whatnot. But I just wanted to share that piece, because I saw that, and it you know, it really touched me. And wrestling is a good sport. I'm not trying to advertise for wrestling for our team. I don't care who you get out there and wrestle for. You know what I'm saying? Just you know, let your kids go through something. You know, allow them to go through something. They're struggling with something, you know, whether it's, I feel like I should be the starting quarterback or the starting point guard. Allow them to go through that, you know, and have to work through it, you know. But you can work through it with them. You know, I'm not saying just throw your kids out there and sink or swim. You know, it's not that. But a lot of our kids are coming from environments where it's totally different from the environments that we came from as parents. You know, the environments our kids are growing up in isn't as dog eat dog. They, you know, they're not out. They're not having to worry about having to get in a fight, you know, or anything like that. So they don't have that same kind of hunger as we had. But we can still manufacture certain types of environments to give them that adversity, so that they can use it to grow as individuals. Or maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Tell me what y'all think. I know this long. It is what it is.